Hi, pastors and church leaders. My name is Shauna, and I am so excited to talk to you today about point number 8 from Pastor Craig's message. Avoid complaining, comparing, and criticizing like they are spiritual poison to your soul, because they are. I don't know about you, but this has been my reality off and on over the last year. There he is. That is my son, and he is 3 years old. He is such a gift. In fact, that is what his name means. That's why we chose it. It means gift of God. However, over the last several months, I know there have been times that I have thought and even said things that might have led someone to think otherwise. Maybe even led them to think that I thought my son was a burden. My thinking takes a wrong turn, and I find myself complaining because of how messy he is or how loud he is. And as I'm caring for him and I'm trying to work, and he asks if I can make a fork, as he calls them, again for the third time, I realize I have a choice. I can either think, man, I can't get anything done. Or I can think, man, I am so thankful that I get to spend this extra time with him. The first thought gives into self-pity, while the second thought causes me to focus on gratitude and on thankfulness to God for even his unexpected blessings. And I realize that the more I focus on gratitude, even in the little things, the harder it is to complain or to compare or to criticize. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've been in a similar situation, and maybe you've been at home working and homeschooling your children. Or maybe your situation has been just the opposite. Maybe this has been a really lonely season for you, and you've been struggling with comparison. Or perhaps you faced some really unique challenges during this season, and it feels like others have had it much easier than you. Whatever your situation, if you feel like this is your one, these next steps might be for you. Number 1, take every thought captive. The Bible tells us to not be conformed to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But even more than that, number 2 is we have to replace those thoughts with positive affirmations. The Bible actually tells us in Romans 12:2, finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. So as followers of Christ, it's not enough to just not think critical or negative thoughts. We are to think on godliness and holy thoughts and good things. And so an example might be, instead of me thinking, man, my child's driving me crazy today, it might be, man, I am so glad that I get to model patience to him today. And as silly as that might feel and sound in the moment, what I've found is that by actually verbalizing those things, I start to realize that I am becoming more like the very things that I speak, and over time becoming more and more like Christ. And finally, maybe it might be helpful to start a gratitude journal. I've found that no matter what happens in any given day, I can always find something to be thankful for. It's this realigning and refocusing on what we do have, on gratitude, rather than on what we don't have or what we wish we had, that can totally shift our focus. Isn't it crazy how sometimes the things that we complain about the most were at once the very things we prayed for or wished for the most? It really all comes back to gratitude. Just remember who you are. We are children of God, and our identity is in Christ. And when we stand before Jesus one day, he isn't going to be asking us if we completed everything on our to-do list. He's going to want to know if we loved others well. And knowing that's our standard, knowing that's my standard, I don't need to compare myself or my life to other people or to their social media feeds or whatever. He loves us for who we are, not just what we do. So again, I hope that this was encouraging to you. I hope it was helpful to you as we all seek to become more like Christ and avoid complaining, comparing, and criticizing like it's spiritual poison to our soul, because it is.